Panel, are we ready for a panel now? Is everybody in who's coming in? Do we have enough room? All right, well, feel free to stand along the walls there. I guess you came to this panel because you know who I am, right? Okay. I've been doing a lot of video game voices over the years. Many games. 120 and counting. I can't name the characters or the games because... Yeah, Big the Cat. Thanks for bringing that up. I think last year when I was here, somebody asked me about Big the Cat. I said, oh yeah, by far the most embarrassing and gay voice I've ever had to do for any game. I don't mean gay in a bad way. I mean it, never mind. Look, I can't be politically correct all the time. It's just not who I am. Okay, but today what I hope to do is answer any questions you may have about not only video game voiceovers, but voice acting in general. And any questions about the industry that I have particular knowledge of, I'll be happy to share with you. And I've got some audio clips and fun stuff to play for you today, including some clips that I brought with me directly from the most recent recording for Duke Nukem Forever. Yeah, I could do them live on the microphone right now, but to be quite honest with you, I was drinking until 4 o'clock this morning. Please don't do that. No, I'm kidding. I took Tylenol about 2 hours ago. I'm good. Anybody else hungover today? Party with you later, cowboy. Okay, so before we get to the real business at hand here, let me do something that's a little self-serving, because, again, that's what I'm all about. Last year, you may have... Oh, how many new people this year? Who's attending MAGFest for the first time? God bless you for coming out. And you came out because you heard how much fun and what a frickin' party this con is, right? And it is. I've done a lot of conventions. This is the one, baby. I want to come back to MAGFest every year and party. Well, where was I? So let me do this little self-serving piece of information before we move on into the official stuff. And that is, last year, if you know anything about what happened here last year, I attended room parties in the tower and the retreat. For 3 days, and I managed to make 28 room parties, which I think might be a record. Anybody attend more room parties than that here? Okay, cool. This year I hope to break it. Last night, 7 room parties was it. There wasn't, well, and somebody, who's in room 424 that texted me, you jerked me off. Midnight, I bring an entourage of 20 people to your room, and the do not disturb sign is on the door. Real funny asshole. So if you're having a room party at any point tonight, you feel free to text me or tell your friends to hunt me down. Find me in my entourage. There's usually about a dozen people following me around. We come into your room, we party for 5-6 minutes, and then we head on out and try to hit another one because time is limited and I want to beat the record of 20 room parties from last year. All right? So if you can help me out, I'd appreciate that. Now, what's that? What's your number? We'll talk about that afterwards. I'm easy to find, though. Any of the MAGFest staffers can help you find me at any time. They know where I am. Now, I have something special here from MAGFest that I want to offer to you. And that is, what is this crazy Oh, it's 10 points. You know what these are, right? 10 picture points? Okay. At select vendors, these are worth like $10. I have 4 of them to give away today. And I will give them to the 4 best questions asked during this here panel. The question hasn't started yet, sir. So let me start by talking about the video game industry and my part in it. Usually the first question asked of everyone is, how did you get into voice acting and video games in particular? I was a radio broadcaster for many years, all over the country. The nearest station to this location I worked at would be Q94 in Richmond, Virginia. Anybody know that station? Yeah? Where are y'all from, anyway?
Boston.
Canada. Who traveled the furthest? I know there's a guy from the UK in here. And Leo is from Hawaii. Anybody come further than that?
There's a guy from Moscow, Russia here.
Get out! Is he in the room? Doesn't count. But that's all right. So the way I got into it was obviously being in radio for many years and recording commercials and being an air personality. I developed, a voice like this. And while I was working at a radio station in San Diego in 1995, the top casting director for video games, period, is a woman named Lonnie Manella, and she lives in, you know Lonnie, personally. Yeah, she's a bit eccentric, but Lonnie is an incredible talent, lives in San Diego, casts all these games. I met her at a radio station in 1995 and impressed her by doing some character voices, and she said, wow, have you ever considered doing video games? And I hadn't at the time. She said, well, we got this game coming out, you might want to audition for it. It's a character that has a voice quality sort of in an attitude like Clint Eastwood. So they put me on the phone with this fella in Texas and said, here, do a Clint Eastwood line for him. I said, go ahead, make my day. He goes, yeah, you got the right attitude, but the character we're casting for, his name is Duke Nukem, and he takes steroids, and he's got balls of steel. So he has a much lower, tonal quality. I said, go ahead, make my day. And George Broussard said, okay, you got the job. And the very first video game I ever did, Duke Nukem 3D. So, thank you very much. That got it all started for me. Duke has become, he was an icon in the industry for years, for quite a while. Back in the late 90s, Duke Nukem became a term for any first-person shooter games. They'd say, oh yeah, it's a Duke Nukem. Which I thought, wow, that's kind of neat. I've become the Kleenex of tissues of video games, you know what I mean? And it became a worldwide sensation. In fact, here's this is really interesting artwork, which is why I brought this. I did an interview for a Belgian site recently. They wanted to talk about Duke Nukem Forever. And look at the art. When you get a chance, when you come up here later and say hi, take a look at the artwork they did for this Duke Nukem interview. Very strange. Anybody read French or Belgian? Okay, I'll never know what they said about me, but that's okay. I was hoping you'd help me translate, but that's all right. So from Duke Nukem 3D came many more games. I just kept getting cast for more and more games as I would do different voices. Casting director said, oh yeah, he's good for that, he's good for that. So I've been on World of Warcraft. I'm King Varian Wren on that game. I don't know if you've gotten to that level. Big the Cat and the Sonic the Hedgehog games and the what's his name, Omega 123 Robot, something like that, yeah. There have been far too many characters, far too many games for me to recall them all. There are the ones that stand out in my memory because maybe perhaps the recording session was a painful thing, like that Japanese remake looped game called Blue Stinger. Yeah! You familiar with that? They put me through hell. Okay, I spent 5 hours in a studio in Irvine, California, just trying to say Blue Stinger the way the Japanese director wanted it to sound. Japanese director to Jon St. Name of game is Blue Stinger. Okay, Blue Stinger. No. Blue Stinger. Blue Stinger. No, you. I must have said it 500 frickin' times. Finally, I think they took the blue from one take and the stinger from another take and married them together. And finally, and that wasn't even the really hard part of the game. The hard part of looping is trying to match Japanese dialogue with English dialect that does not match for time. You ever notice when you watch that old cartoon, Speed Racer? I don't know what you do. They're always making extra stupid noises just to fill the syllables that the Japanese use. And, well, you have a timing mark you have to hit when you're looping, and that's really difficult. Do 15 words in 3 seconds so it'll match the Japanese loop. So it can be a challenging job, but it's fun. I gotta be honest with you. I have the best job in the world because A, I get paid to talk, and I can talk forever. And B, I got fans like you guys. Holy shit, I'm the luckiest guy I know. Really, truly. You guys make my job awesome. And I know I partied with a few of you last night, so thank you for being so cool. Everybody at MAGFest, always awesome. Always a good time here. Really enjoy it. Now, let's, before we get into questions and answers and all of that good stuff, they have the child's auction. Where's Big Adam? Big Adam, are you in there? Can you come up here for just a moment and tell them a little bit about what's going on with the auction? There's a good microphone. And I will tell you that I have a couple of collectibles I want to give to you right now to put into the auction. This is a pewter Duke Nukem Forever belt buckle. It will attach to any belt buckle. It is one of a kind. I don't have any others. They gave these out at PAX in Seattle.
Yep.
Take-Two Entertainment created like 200 of these, and that's it. There are no more. So this goes to the auction. I will sign it if you want me to do that.
Yeah, totally.
And then I have only 2 of these never-before-worn Duke Nukem Forever T-shirts that look like this.
Hail to the king, baby.
That is awesome.
They're both size large, and I'll sign them if they want them signed. If they don't want them ruined with ink, that's fine.
No, we'll definitely sign
So
them.
when is it and how's it happen?
It's going to be in this room on Sunday at noon. I've got an amazing collection of things that people have donated. Rock Band guitar with the game, signed by all the pianists that are playing this weekend. The Pro Guitar for Rock Band, also signed by all the guitarists that are playing this weekend. I've got a ton of Beats Fright art that'll just blow your mind. We're going to have albums and t-shirts from all of the bands, and everything's going to be signed. This awesome stuff that Jon gives us. We've got 2 posters and 2 CDs from Distant Worlds, which is the Final Fantasy Symphony, all signed by Nobuo Uematsu himself. They are available. It's going to be awesome. Also, if you guys have anything that you want to donate, anything that you guys have just kind of sitting around, maybe you picked up, you want to donate to a good cause, we're taking all the donations, we'll auction all the items off, and all of the proceeds from the event are going to go directly to Child's Play. So it's going to be pretty awesome.
I have a question for you and for you guys too then. This Belgian publication called Pix and Love. Anybody ever hear of it before? You like that artwork?
Is weird art.
Is that weird art? I've tried to read it. I can't. Is this something that people would to bid for just for the hell of it? Because it's
With
rare.
your signature, probably.
Okay, and then in that case, let me sign it now and give it to you, Adam.
All right, sounds good.
I didn't know if anybody would want it or not, but just for the artwork alone, that's pretty wild.
It's funky, just to say the least.
And if you can find a Belgian translator, then you can read my interview. Thanks, Big Adam. You the man. All right, so don't forget the auction, and there'll be lots of good stuff that you can bid on, including the stuff I brought. So, are there any questions to get this thing started? Remember, the 4 best questions of the day are going to get these tokens. Sir?
If you were a bird, what kind of car would you want to shit on first?
Wow. What's your name, sir? What's your name?
Ian.
Ian? That was a pretty awesome question. I'm gonna give you 2 points for that one. If I were a bird, what kind of car would I shit on first? Probably a Prius. Those frickin' holier-than-thou assholes out in California, I'm on the freeway with them every day, and they think they're so much better than me because I'm driving an SUV that's sucking down gas, and I don't give a shit. Yes, sir?
It's two-parter.
Two-parter.
What is Duke's favorite kind of alcoholic beverage? And what is Pike Nukem's favorite?
Okay, Duke Nukem's favorite it doesn't have to be alcoholic, right? Just beverage. Was something Duke had here last year, but hasn't seen this year. It's called balls. It is here? Where's mine? I know. I can walk down the road and get my own. Okay, fine. But I need some balls. And Dyke Nukem? Oh, you've been talking to Lonnie? That character doesn't really exist. She wants that character to exist, but they won't do it. Dyke Nukem? What, do you have a punchline for that, sir? I guess her favorite would be balls also. It would have to be. Do you want me to keep doing questions and answers? That was worked best for you guys? Because I could just speak ad nauseum, and I don't want to just, bore you to death. Yes, sir?
As ever told any girl that you're the voice of Duke Nukem never got laid?
See these girls? Now this is, when you come up here, I'll sign autographs in a while. Oh, by the way, autograph thing, let me tell you. I will sign anything you want for free. These are $5. All right? I gotta pay for these. At PAX Seattle, where they announced Duke Nukem Forever was actually done and people got to play it, and the line went around the building for 4 hours for people to play the game. I couldn't believe the turnout for it. They hired these models from around the country to come be naughty little Catholic high school girls because they're the ones who appear in the game, in the new game. And I hung out with these girls for the whole weekend. They were my entourage. So the answer to your question, sir, is yes. I'll leave it at that. I wouldn't say there were sexual favors involved, because legally I shouldn't. What's the next question? Yes, you in the silly hat.
It's actually Mickey Mouse, first of all.
Yeah.
Ooh, directing the John.
No, it's cool. It's cool. Hey, I do video game voices. It doesn't mean I know shit about video games. I play some of them. I'm not a huge gamer. I'll be honest with you. I'm an actor. It's what I do. Okay, what's your question? And can you lift that above your mouth so I can hear you?
Okay. Ever since Ted Williams' call to fame, so to speak, and
Yeah.
becoming the voice of craft, have you been feeling any competitive vibes as a voice actor, perchance?
In what way? I mean, I love that Ted Williams got work right away. I understand he was arrested yesterday, however, is what I read, and that's pretty sad. Apparently he, I don't know, slapped his child and got drunk or something like that. Really sad. That Ted Williams guy, great. Well, you guys all know the story of Ted Williams, right? Great set of pipes, homeless man. He was on drugs for many years, ruined his career, ruined his life, and then somebody videotaped him holding a sign at the side of the road like, "We'll speak for food," or whatever, like a homeless guy. And he was discovered and got work right away with... I'm sorry? MSNBC, that's the one I'd heard. And then some other product. So unfortunately, he'll make all this big money again because like Kraft Mac and Cheese, that's a national spot. Voicing a commercial like that can make you, 20, 30 grand. I'm sure he went out and bought himself a bottle right away. Old habits die hard. So I wish the best for the guy. He's got a great set of pipes, but, I don't have a lot of faith in him keeping it together. You know what I mean? Sad. Can I share some audio stuff with you just for fun? And this is a just real short single little clip that is actual audio from Duke Nukem Forever, and it's a line you've heard before, but you heard it in 8-bit. Ain't no 8-bit anymore, baby. It's all high quality stuff.
Always bet on Duke.
So when you play the game now, that's what it's gonna sound like. It's pretty bitchin'. The quality is awesome. Now, they've replaced some of the lines from Duke Nukem Forever. You might, from the original Duke Nukem 3D, you might remember Duke used to say, "I'll rip your head off and shit down your neck." In the new game, the new line is, "I'll rip out your eyeball and piss on your brain." Which I think is pretty cool. The writers, and I won't give names, but I can tell you the most clever, sexy, funny, ironic lines in the game were all written by a woman. Her name is Kristen, that's all I'll tell you. But she is awesome. And she writes the funniest stuff ever. Here's another line from Duke Nukem Forever.
Power armor is for pussies. Ooh, you are one ugly motherfucker.
I get a kick out of that shit still. I can't help it. Now, I was here last year and I met somebody who said, we'd really like to get you to do the voice of a new character that we're doing called Dude Bro. You guys familiar with Dude Bro? The Dude Bro people here? Here's a little Dude Bro for you.
Brociety ain't what it used to be. Damn, Brociety ain't what it used to be.
It's the original take, sorry.
There's a reason I'm the best. There's a reason I'm the best.
There's always multiple takes.
She isn't fucked up until you met me. She isn't fucked up until you've met me. Think of a woman's name. I've had sex with someone called that. Think of a woman's name. I've had sex with someone called that.
So that's kind of stuff too, bro.
I'm gonna get a killer's high. Don't need a bong for that. I'm gonna get a killer's high. Don't need a bong for that.
Funny, I thought I edited that one off.
Huge difference between shooting the shit and shooting up shit. Guess which one I'll be doing? Huge difference between shooting the shit and shooting up shit. Guess which one I'll be doing?
I guess that's it. So, Dude Bro, gonna be a fun game when it's done, I suppose. Let's see here. In addition to doing, video games, I do a lot of commercials, infomercials, TV voiceovers, narrations, message on hold. A lot of weird stuff. As a voice actor, you have to be diversified. You have to do as much stuff as you can to keep making money and keep your head above water, because you don't have a steady paycheck, you know. You have to audition constantly to try to find the work. Wait for it to come in, and then bank your money, because there's long, dry spells where there's nothing. So I've branched out and done a whole lot of things. For instance, I'll give you some samples of different stuff I do here. Radio commercials I've been doing for many years. Here's one that's running back west throughout California, Oregon, Washington, and Nevada right now.
Mammoth Mountain presents perfectly legitimate excuses when calling in sick. My bird has the bird flu. It's my time of the month. There is a pack of wild dogs outside of my house. I've never left the country, but somehow I have malaria. I'm having bunion surgery today. What'll your excuse be? With the fresh powder piling up and daily flights from LAX to Mammoth, you better get your excuse ready. Get to the top of California today. Call 800-MAMMOTH or visit mammothmountain.com.
So that's the kind of stuff I do on a regular basis, you know, just to make money. I also do movie trailers from time to time. It's been years since I booked one, which is a shame because they pay really well. But I'll tell you this, the 3 trailers that are on this little sample here paid my mortgage for the year.
From New Line Cinema.
His name is Dennis. He thinks he's from another planet.
Is that too loud?
It doesn't matter where you come from.
So he thinks he's from Mars. And you write about Mars. That's great.
As long as you discover
Rules of the house. First rule, no girls after 10 p.m.
where you belong.
When you're here at home, it's okay to be from Mars. But when you're out there, you gotta go by Earth rules.
Based on the award-winning sci-fi short story,
There's nothing you can do that would change the way I feel about you.
John Cusack, Amanda Peet, and Joan Cusack. Martian Child.
There's no harm in being a little eccentric.
Rated PG. The government used him as a
Anybody
pawn
see that
to
movie,
influence
Martian
the
Child?
world. The corporations thought she
Oh,
was
well.
merely a troublemaker. They couldn't have been more wrong. This summer, see Ray Fiennes and Rachel Weisz in The Constant Gardener, based on the international best-selling thriller by John le Carré. The Constant Gardener, in theaters everywhere August 31st.
Hands up.
A land of heartless men.
We will have Ben Wade convicted and hanged, and we will pay to make it happen.
The code a man lives by
If you want a word, how could you do it? I'll have to say you did.
is the code he could die by.
Call him off.
Russell Crowe.
Why should I? Because you're not all bad. Yes, I am.
310 to Yuma.
You ever heard any of those movies? Okay. So every once in a while, you know, I gotta tell you, as a voice guy, you know, we all love to hear our own voices. When you go to a movie theater and you hear your own voice coming out of those giant speakers behind the screen and it kind of shakes the room, man, what a rush. I really love doing that. Here's another clip that was taken from the new Duke Nukem Forever game. You know, it's famous for ripping off other lines, like Bruce Campbell's "I'll rip off your head, shit down your neck," etc., etc. Those are not original Duke lines. Everything was stolen from somewhere. Except Duke Nukem Forever, a lot of the stuff is newly written creative. But here's one that was ripped off from a movie called Team America World Police.
Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah.
America. Fuck yeah. You know that song, don't you? Video games also have trailers, just like movies do, and often I get to record trailers for those as well. Here's a sample of a video game trailer voiceover.
I was there when fire first fell from the skies, when the armies of heaven and hell joined battle at last. I saw the horseman, betrayed, deceived, stripped of all honor and power. He has returned. And woe to those who face his great vengeance, for they shall know his name is war.
Okay, so that's a typical kind of movie trailer sounding thing for a video game. Sometimes they want you to do a spot on, or as close as you can get, impression of somebody else doing a movie trailer. I get hired all the time to impersonate Don LaFontaine. You remember who he was? The movie trailer guy? God bless him, he was so great. But I often get gigs, mostly on the East Coast, to do car dealerships who want that voice. In a world where car deals are hard to find. Isn't that ridiculous? I love Don LaFontaine, but when he was in his heyday, he did so many projects that he should not have done. Anybody remember when he was the voice of Cartoon Network? He was. You're watching Cartoon Network. Mommy, he scared me. That was an inappropriate voice, I think, but God bless him for getting the work. So sometimes they want you to do an impression of somebody else. There was a game called Two Worlds 2. You ever heard of that one? So we need somebody who sounds kind of like Patrick Stewart from X-Men or Star Trek The Next Generation. So this is what I gave him.
In Two Worlds 2, developer Reality Pop set out to reimagine the realm of Atalor as a diverse fantasy landscape, pulling influences from a variety of real-world cultures. Escaping years of captivity, our hero returns home to find Atalor ravaged by the rule of his former enemy, the dark sorcerer Gandahar.
Okay, I'm just going to stop that one because you know where it's going. Okay, so that's an example. Kind of sounds like Patrick Stewart. From time to time, I am hired to impersonate other actors. In Half-Life, I had to do Arlie Ermey. Do you know who he was? Okay, from Full Metal Jacket. What is your major malfunction, son? He had some great lines in that film that I can't repeat. But I actually had to do, and I like you, son, why don't you come to my house and my sister? Believe it or not, there was a company putting together a motivational workout DVD. And they said, you know, a voice similar to Arlie Ermey would be really good. And, really? That's going to motivate people to work out? I think it would piss me off. But here's what they wanted.
Morning, maggot. So, I guess we should pull our thumbs out of our asses and get going. Stretch? No, I'm not gonna stretch. Stretching's for sissies. You just burned 400 calories. You know, a donut is 400 calories too. So only 6 more runs like that and you'll have burned off this morning's breakfast. You know that goal you set before we started this run? Yeah, well, you did it. Somebody should go get you a merit badge so you can stop prancing around like an idiot.
Isn't that lovely? Would you buy that to motivate you to work out? I mean, really? Wow. I should have asked for more money on that one, I guess. A few years ago, it's funny how some projects lead you to other projects. I don't know who the fellow was. To this day, I can't remember who he is or why he wanted this, but there's a site called tatatata.cn. You ever heard of it? You know, reading text edit commands. Like, what? The guy goes, just give me your deepest, ballsiest voice, read these things. I'm just going to use them in some way. Well, somehow the link got out and other people started clicking on it, and I've actually managed to book 5 more games based on this silly thing.
Text edit, disk utility, grab, import image, mail, script editor, file, new, close, save, save as, save all, edit, undo typing, complete, insert, find, spelling, start speaking, special characters, format, font, bold, italic, underline, outline, styles.
I think my favorite line was, insert. I don't know why. Okay, I do. My favorite thing to do, voice acting, is not movie trailers and the big radio voice. I've been doing that forever. I like acting. And unfortunately, in video game recording, that rarely happens. You know, it's all one line here, one line there. There's no interacting with other actors. And that's the most fun. Don't get to do that so much, but I'm still working on breaking into animation and really getting, you know, some animated feature recording. Well, I don't know how much you guys know about that part of the industry, but that is a tough nut to crack. Getting into either animation or a loop group is next to impossible. Unless somebody you know who's in a loop group dies and in their will says, I want Jon St. to replace me. You're not getting in. It's all union work, it's very tight. It's very difficult to get into that. I've been trying for 12 years to get into animation and still have not been able to do it. But I think I deserve a shot, and I'd like to see if you agree. This is my character's demo. Tell me if you think these impressions are close or even, you know, worthy. Hello, I'm Jon St. voiceover artist, and here's some of what I can do.
Smithers, who is that large-voiced individual?
That's Jon St. sir.
Ah, St. John, eh? Is he available?
Yes, sir, I believe he is.
Excellent.
This is Roger Rabbit. Please give St. John a break. After all, he seems like a very sensible and sober pal.
Hi, this is your best friend, the Shadow St. Stevens on American Top 40.
Greetings, boys and ghoulies. Crit St. Keeper here with a dastardly little tale I like to call Dead Air.
Amuck in America. In 13 states, it's illegal. Only on MTV. Nowhere else.
Jon St. John keeps his house in the pink with a full foot of orange-coating pink fiberglass insulation.
This is Captain Jean-Luc Picard of the Federation Starship Enterprise. Mr. LaForge, please remove that silly visor and engage.
When I was a boy, we didn't have this Star Trek kiddie space crap. You're giving me knackers here. Hi.
Inspector Gadget may return after these messages.
Oh, goody.
Hi-ho, Kermit the Frog here.
Yellow moons, pink hearts, green clovers, frosted Lucky Charms. They're magically delicious, don't you know?
There is no honor in defeat for the Shadow Warrior.
This is Droopy. Going down, sir.
Hello, this is James Mason, and I'm quite dead. Really, I'm quite sure.
This is Homer J. Simpson. Oh, that rabbit has stolen the Illudium Q-32 explosive space modulator. That makes me very angry.
So I think that should get me into cartoons, but no luck yet. I'll keep trying.